What's going on, guys? Lawson here. It is a high tide. We have beautiful clear water, and today we are basically going to be fishing the easiest way possible to catch fish. And I'm going to give you guys some tips and different things and see if we can catch some fish. Right in front of me, I have a big bucket of live shrimp. We're going to rig them a few different ways, and it's really just honestly some of the easiest ways you can catch saltwater fish, and that's what we're going to be going over today. So we're going to get at it. Okay, so right here in front of me I have a skimmer jig, is what they're called, or a flats jig. It's just a little jig head that's flat-headed, so it's meant for fishing in shallow water. Then our live shrimp, and I like to go through just right through the base of the tail, and you pull the hook right through like that. And so now it just kind of looks like a bigger presentation of your shrimp. And this actually weeds out a lot of small fish for the most part. And I'll kind of pull the skirt over it a little bit, just kind of incorporate it some to make it look more cohesive. But this is going to look like your shrimp basically running across the flat, puffing up mud is kind of what that looks like right there. We have some seriously ugly stormage kind of rolling in on us here, so we're going to try our best to stay safe. Oh, and I also have a dog swimming across the sandbar where I'm trying to fish. Hello, pup. What are you doing? There's legitimately a dog just swimming across the sandbar, and now I'm not really worried about him. I actually see him out here all the time. He lives in one of these houses nearby and just runs out here at low tide. Then when the tide comes up, he swims back in. What a guy. Ooh, I can see some snook sitting up by this dock here. There's a ton of snook up here. There's snapper. Not what I wanted. First fish though. Nice little mangy. Holy frick, dude. Oh my gosh. Ooh, I might have to make some decisions here now. Oh my god, that is terrifying. My freaking rod is vibrating. Lower this. Lower this. That is terrifying. My freaking fishing rod was vibrating. Alright, I need to go find some shelter because this is getting a little sketchy out here. I like to push it a little bit. Normally storms will blow off, but that is terrifying. Huge, loud rumbling thunder. Then I saw a giant lightning bolt, and then my rod was literally vibrating like that. Whew, that'll freak you out a little bit. So we're gonna go try to find a bridge or something to take cover here. Oh, ho, ho. Get me under this freaking bridge. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess might as well fish under here. There's a fish. That's what I've been waiting for right there. Not big. Beautiful snapper though. Oh my goodness. Right there, fishing underneath the bridge, hiding from the storm, a beautifully, beautifully lit up snapper right there. I think this is a mangrove. He looks very colorful, but I think he's just really fired up from being caught and eating the big shrimp. What a beautiful fish here. But we'll throw him back. And I'm gonna talk about the setup that we're throwing here and why it's such a crazy good way to catch snapper and little grouper, sea trout, small snook, sheep's head, almost any game fish. And I don't see a lot of people using it. It's kind of a little secret thing that people do, and it's so much easier to catch fish doing it than traditionally how you normally rig up fishing live shrimp. And I'll show you guys that in a moment once this storm clears up. But right now we're gonna try to catch some more, those snapper, and see what else is hiding underneath this bridge. Oop, there it is. That sounds like a snook to me. There it is. Is it a snook? Is it a snook? It seems like a snook. It is a little snook. There we go. Just pitched that shrimp on the little jig head right on his head, and he hammered it. He's not very big, but we're gonna be gentle with him anyways because I'm only running 20-pound tests and Snook got some serious frayers on him. Oh my gosh, there's a Snook much bigger underneath him. That's heartbreaking. Not like huge, but there's a Snook that about probably got a couple pounds on him sitting underneath them here. Beautiful. We're hooked up, catching a bunch of different species. Got snapper, got jack. We are into a Snook right now. Just being real gentle with him because, like I said, Snook are fraying machines, especially on light line, man. They don't play. This is actually not a bad Snook, man. All right. Land him on the other side. Oh, I love that noise. Now that is what I'm talking about right there. Is that awesome or what? This tiny little jig with a little shrimp on the end of it gets it done even on good-sized game fish. You know, you can use this tiny little hook to catch sheepshead, jack, snapper, whatever. But come to play, 25-inch Snook right there. And don't act like you haven't heard stories of your buddy catching a 40-inch Snook on live shrimp, because everyone's heard that story. So it's a very possible thing. And right there, a nice probably 22 to 25-inch Snook. Very epic. And just, I mean, as easy as it comes, just pitching a shrimp onto its head and watching him slurp it off the top. Awesome. Off he goes. We're cranking right along. As always, friendly little reminder with any type of fish, but especially Snook and tarpon, check your line after you hook one, especially if you're fishing light line, because right there, even that little 23-inch Snook, he can fray through your line pretty bad. Watch this. I'm gonna grab pliers. You always need to retie because he can fray pretty bad and just so easily will snap right there. So make sure you retie, especially if you see any visible frayage too, because it would really suck for you to be all pumped up, just caught a nice Snook, pitch back in there and instantly get broken off. You'd be pissed. So take you 10 seconds, retie. Already done, back in the game. Ooh, Snook just swung at it right there. I just watched one come up and miss it. Oh, heartbreaking. I think he just grabbed it. Oh my Lord, and I missed him. I am a dunce and a half right there. I watched him come up and miss it. Swung at him, missed again. Oh, I just got broken off. Dangerous game we play here. Might have had me rocked. The line is super frayed. Gosh, always how it happens, right? As I'm sitting here putting my new shrimp on, I hear a huge pop behind me and I see a shrimp leaping out of the water being chased by a Snook. Throw him up in there and see if he gets just crushed. He should, man. He really should. We're kind of just working them nice and slow, bouncing them, letting them sink, and then just kind of twitching them up. Because shrimp, honestly, they don't move very fast. Oh, I just got hit right there. There it is. Nice Snook. Oh my Lord almighty. That was not what I was expecting at all. Super light drag here. Ooh. Oh, he just broke off right there. That was coming from a long way away. He's running 20-pound test. Son of a gun. Ooh, that was a 30-incher or more. Whew. I never like breaking off fish, so when that happens to me real quickly, I lean back, grab some 30-pound test out of the box, tied on about 2 feet, 3 feet of 30-pound leader right here for some abrasion resistance on these Snook. It's just bad sportsmanship to break off fish knowingly, and that was touch or go. You know, as I was joking around saying we all know stories about people who hook big Snook on live shrimp. There was my big one I hooked on a live shrimp. So we're 30 down now, went up about 10 pounds on our leader here, and hopefully that'll help make a difference if we hook another big fish. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna talk about what I'm using today and why this is just so easy and perfect to use. And if you're new to fishing, if you're old to fishing, if you just want an easy day and you want to catch a lot of fish, just do this and it works. And I don't think a ton of people do it. It's kind of an old school method that my dad actually taught me. So instead of rigging up a J hook and a circle hook and maybe an egg weight and a swivel, or maybe you're using split shots, all you do is tie on these little jig heads. This is called a crusher style jig head right here, and this is called a skimmer style. Now, they both have different purposes. This sinks a lot faster. This is really good in shallow areas on the flats. And the idea behind it is they throw a lot further than if you were just free lining a live shrimp, and a lot further than if you have a free sliding egg sinker on your line. And they're just so much easier to rig. All this is leader and then one knot. Where if you're using a egg sinker, you need to have egg sinker, swivel, 2 knots, leader, tied down, put your circle hook on, put your J hook on, your tail hook, whatever you're using. With this, it's just as simple as can be, really quick rigging. It works super well. We're catching good sized snook on it. We hooked a big snook. And so, to differentiate when I use these things, I was using this on around the bridge because it sinks faster, but this isn't as big as a profile. If you really are like, you know what, I want to use live shrimp, but I want to target big fish, because a lot of times when you're using live shrimp, you don't always catch big fish, unfortunately. With this, it makes a much bigger profile, and you kind of weed out a lot of little fish. I've caught multiple 30-inch snook when I was younger, throwing skimmer jigs with live shrimp behind them, because it just looks like a bigger profile, and that's what a bigger fish is going to eat. But you never know. Like, I just hooked a really nice snook underneath the jig, underneath the bridge on this tiny little crusher jig. So it works super well. Not a lot of people do it. It's super easy, and you catch a ton of fish. Arguably the easiest way to catch a lot of fish in salt water. So try it. If any of these tips are helpful, leave a like on this video, guys. It helps me out, and I appreciate you guys. We're gonna get back into fishing here and see if we can catch a few more fish before we close out the day. There it is again. Another snook. Not quite as big as that last one. More like the size of the first one right there. But I'm glad we got that 30 on. He hammered it, man. He might be a little bigger than the first one. I don't know. This is just too epic. You know, I was kind of getting really bummed out, as you can still see the storm's really hanging around. It's let up a little bit, just kind of hanging off, but storm kind of passed through, and now the fish have seemed to turn on. We got a nice snook on again. We popped off a really big one. We're catching fish. You can't ask for a better time right now. This one is just digging, making tuna circles around the boat. I can see he's got a really good hook set in the corner of the mouth though, so that's great. All right. Snook number 2 that's been landed. This will be our 3rd snook that we've had on right there. About the same length as that last one, maybe a little chunkier on him. Just about the same size snook, but the one that busted off, he had about probably 10 inches on both of these fish that we've caught so far. He was a good looking fish, but that's the way it goes. But we've sized up on our leader, and things should play more in our favor if we hook another big one. But I mean, fish are just knocking down. It's too easy fishing this style. You guys got to get out and try it, honestly. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's release it. Let's get that current pumping right through his gills here. Give me a little clamp down on the thumb. One of my favorite parts about snook is they're so funny. They bite down on your thumb like this. If you can see, I'm not even holding him. He's just chewing on my thumb. There you go. Can we talk about something absolutely just criminal right here for a second? Now, I feel bait shops, they do their best to help you out. Maybe not all the time, but they're good dudes that work on it for the most part. But I got 3 dozen shrimp and about 1.5 dozen of these things. I don't know if you can legally even consider these things shrimp. They look like freaking krill. Like, look at these little things. That's 3 shrimp right there. What am I supposed to do with these? I can barely even put those on a hook without them dying. And I'm not joking, like there's like 15 shrimp in there like this size. What the hell? Like, I'm not kidding. This is an above average shrimp in my bucket right now. It's terrible. Definitely pushing my luck here to see how many more fish we can catch before the storm completely wrecks my life. As much as I would like to stay out and keep fishing, this storm behind me looks like it's about ready to destroy my life. And I've been lucky so far in dodging storms this afternoon and got really on a good bite underneath that bridge in the process of dodging a storm, but I think it's about time I'm gonna have to call it. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I thought it went extremely well because I don't normally cover that much basic fishing or really give a ton of just like basic advice all that often. You know, I do a lot of fly fishing and spin fishing and more advanced stuff. And so I think it's really cool to break things down a little bit and just be like, hey, you want to get out and catch a lot of fish and not have to try super hard and just enjoy yourself, this is the way to do it. Maybe you're new to fishing, maybe you're not. And hey, if you feel like you're like, you know what, I'm kind of above fishing with live shrimp, like I want to do something different, I'm serious, just give it a try, because fishing with these jigs, it's a lot more active than the type of fishing with live shrimp I did as a kid. With me, it was always like, all right, let me put my shrimp on a cork and let it sit there, or let me put it on a split shot or an egg sinker and let it sit there. And it was never super enjoyable. With this, it's a lot more active. You're pitching a bait. It's a lot more like fishing with artificials, but you have the advantage of using live bait, and it just works phenomenally. So hopefully you guys got something out of this video. If you did, leave a like. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel down below. I appreciate you guys very much. Until next time, see ya.